My mother always claimed noble descent, saying her ancestors were Indian Brahmins. She decided to return to her ancestral land for New Year's Eve, cheerfully welcoming 2025. I feared that after going, she would adopt the habit of wiping herself with her left hand and eating with her right. I pleaded with all my might, but she wouldn't listen, even resenting me to the bone. She personally poured Ganga water down my throat, causing me to contract a superbug and die in bitter resentment. Opening my eyes, I found myself back on the very day Mom announced her trip to India for the new year. This time, I enthusiastically agreed, raising both hands and feet, for her to fulfill her filial duty to her ancestors in India, hoping she would soon find her eternal rest among them. Noble Brahmins like us, of course, must return to our ancestral home to bathe in the first sacred rays of the new year. I had a premonition that this time, she would surely find her long-lost relatives, return to her roots, and reclaim her place among the elite. Mom, who was sitting on the sofa, suddenly sprang up as if she'd been electrocuted. I wiped my mouth, forcing a delighted smile. "Excellent, your Brahmin young master is here. I wish to provide for 18 poor girls." Seeing the two fools before me, I gloated. Heaven truly has eyes. I returned to this life with my past memories intact. Their blissful days are now coming to an end. I approached, smiling brightly. "Mom, when do you plan to leave? Are you taking Jamie with you?" Mom looked momentarily flustered and irritated. Damn it, airlines always hike up prices during holidays. A single ticket costs over 10,000 yuan. Yet her mind was still filled with images of those 18 poor girls who would bring glory to the family. She couldn't let go of the idea. I spoke firmly. "I don't care, I want to go too." Mom, her voice soft and coaxing, said, "Be a good child, let Mom go first to fulfill her filial duty. Next time, I'll take you first class, and you can stay as long as you like." I slapped my thigh. "Mom, you've been scammed. In that superhot TikToker's live stream room, a 3-day tour to India is only 599 yuan. Mom mumbled, "It's cheap, all right, but can it be trusted? Is it a scam?" Mom's brain, which had been foggy for so many years, suddenly cleared up. A person who dared to go to India to become a Brahmin, risking her life, now feared being scammed. Jamie patted the flabby flesh on his chest. What's there to be afraid of? With this physique, even a scammer would have to steer clear. Mom was still uneasy, her tiny eyes darting around frantically. I delivered the final blow. "If you don't go, I'll go alone. I've never been abroad, now's my chance to see new sights." Before I could finish speaking, Mom furiously cut me off. "Shut up, do you think I don't know your tricks? You want to go behind my back and reclaim your ancestral heritage? Do you think I'm dead? What are you standing there for? Go book 2 spots for me and Jamie right now." Mom looked like a stray dog denied a bone, twisting my arm painfully. I endured the pain and booked 2 tour packages. Jamie's face contorted lewdly, his grin more repulsive than any Indian man's. Wonderful. I'm off to India to be a young master. You good-for-nothing, pack the young master's luggage. Oh, and bring a few boxes of strong stomachache medicine for the one born of unknown lineage, all right. Mom, curling her short, stubby fingers, imagined herself a high and mighty Brahmin. She said, "Still my thoughtful, beloved child. We can't let those commoners mistake our noble bloodline." Then she declared, "Oh, this place is truly awful. The climate is unbearable and the people are so unpleasant. I long to reunite with my loved ones soon." I struggled to suppress my laughter. Unbearable climate? India is full of lies. Even the most devout wouldn't escape diarrhea from their water. In my past life, I tried to convince Mom to give up on that terrifying idea. Sanitation in India is poor, and Indian men don't even spare exhaust pipes. Women who go there will undoubtedly meet a fate worse than that lizard. Yet, Mom flew into a rage, scolding me for slandering her sacred ancestral land. No matter how much I advised her, she wouldn't listen, so I secretly hid her passport. I thought I had saved Mom, but she resented me to the bone, believing I had ruined her path to Brahminhood. Especially after Jamie lost an arm due to gambling debts, he completely lost his mind. "It's all your fault," he raged. "You made it impossible for me to return to our roots. You jinx, you destroyer of wealth. You don't want to see your mother live well. Your heart is as black as coal. Mom will use the sacred Ganga water to cleanse your filthy soul." The smell of the Ganga water alone gave people diarrhea for half a month, but I was forced to drink a whole bottle of it. As expected, I contracted a superbug, endured unimaginable torture, and died. Fortunately, heaven has eyes and granted me another chance at life. This time, I not only supported their return to their ancestral roots, but also wished for them to find their eternal rest among their ancestors as soon as possible. Mom sat on the sofa, legs crossed, directing me to pack her luggage, while gleefully posting on social media. Thanks to the blessings of your ancestors, you now have the honor of knowing a noble Brahmin like me. After boasting, she excitedly went out, saying she was going to buy gifts for her relatives. Once Mom left, Jamie's face darkened. That cheap woman, such pretensions? I began to suspect Mom's true motive for going to India. Jamie's personality seemed erratic, a symptom of an underdeveloped brain. One moment he was eager to go, the next he was questioning me. There's not enough marble in the whole world to build a monument for him, yet he claims I'm being pretentious. Going to India is Mom's biggest dream, and I feigned a look of grievance, explaining. A 7-day tour for 599 yuan on New Year's Day? Only brainless women would fall for that. Jamie sneered. Damn it, you're the one with the most brains, the smartest of all, so why are you crying and begging to be a Brahmin? I struggled not to hit him. This tour is a special program celebrating that big vlogger's livestream anniversary. Limited spots, you won't get one if you don't book fast. I defended myself. Well, he might be a big vlogger, but he specializes in selling fakes, I added. A cunning look flashed across Jamie's face. I understood he wanted to extract something from me. I pulled out 10,000 yuan from my pocket and pressed it into his hand. Jamie, this is the money saved on the plane ticket. Take it and spend it. Don't tell Mom. I hear things are cheap in India, and there are plenty of beautiful girls. Don't be stingy, do what you like. When you're firmly seated on that Brahmin throne later, don't forget your biological sister, okay? Seeing my flattery, Jamie snorted smugly. You know how to play it smart, all right. Be obedient, and who knows, I might be in a good mood and introduce you to an Indian tycoon. Jamie had nothing on me except for a few extra pounds of fat, yet Mom still treated him like a prince, prioritizing everything he did. He demanded to return to his ancestral roots, partly because, given his circumstances, it was hard to find a wife domestically. So he dreamed of going to India, becoming a Brahmin, and marrying a few common girls to enjoy life. I wonder how much golden civet droppings those two had eaten to dream such beautiful dreams. They'd meet some Indian guys even more energetic than a poodle, who would marry whom was still up in the air. After getting her passport back, Mom couldn't wait to announce to the whole world, my filial daughter has helped me. But in reality, I had used her name to post, seeking relatives, notices on various Indian forums. She liked going to India so much, she might as well stay there forever, no need for a round-trip ticket. Before they even boarded the plane, Mom's Brahmin relatives arrived at our doorstep. It was a dark-skinned man with curly hair, reeking of curry mixed with body odor. I cursed myself for not having taken a cold shower earlier, wishing my damned nose would just block up. He blocked Mom, his whole body shaking with fat as he sobbed uncontrollably. Mom's face lit up as she babbled in broken English. Wanna come, namaste, Pusey. The man tremblingly pulled out a yellowed piece of goat skin, pointed at the squiggly writing, and proclaimed loudly, Heaven has blessed this humble servant. I have finally found my eldest granddaughter. I froze, my limbs numb, my hair standing on end. Are you standing there like a statue? Mom's voice, sharp as a knife, jolted me awake. Go greet your great-grandfather. She turned to him, her face full of flattery. Sir, you've come all the way from India just for me. You must be so tired. The climate here doesn't suit you. You've gotten so thin and dark, just as I predicted. This year, we're sure to find our long-lost relatives. No one could sweet-talk him like Mom could, her flattery unmatched by any gem. The Indian man seemed very pleased with her enthusiasm. I hugged Mom tightly, patting her back. Welcome back to the Brahmin world, my little princess. Hearing those words from the Indian man, Mom gasped, hugging him even tighter. A lewd look flashed across his face as he swallowed a gulp of saliva. I knew immediately this dark-skinned, tattooed Indian man was no Brahmin at all, but just a scammer who had hit the jackpot, thanks to the seeking relatives posts I had meticulously arranged. Both he and I had our own agendas, only Mom remained blissfully ignorant. Mom and he walked hand in hand, tears welling in their eyes, reminiscing about their glorious ancestors. Just then, Jamie returned. The moment he walked through the door, he scowled and yelled, Mom, who exploded the toilet? That wasteful woman is too lazy to clean it again, isn't she? I'm counting to 3, clean it up. Can't even do such a simple chore, what a useless person. Seeing his face, as long as a size 42 ironing board, I slapped him twice in quick succession until my hand went numb. Jamie flew into a rage, raising his hand to strike back. Are you itching for another beating? You damned good for nothing. Just then, asterisk smack, a heavy slap landed on his face. Mom, having regained her composure, quickly tried to smooth things over. No, 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 children are talking nonsense, the wind carried it away. This is the distinctive fragrance of us Brahmins, a divine scent passed down from our ancestral land. Jamie clutched half his face, trembling with anger. How could he, a man who once boasted about his superior talents, bear such humiliation? Seeing Mom holding the Indian man's hand, he grew even angrier. Mom, you hit me for this dark-skinned guy? Are you crazy? This guy is black as a devil, how can he be a Brahmin? It was a rare moment when Jamie said something sensible, but it was useless. Mom, without hesitation, scolded him, telling him he was unreasonable. If you miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you'll be single forever. Her empty promises actually worked. Jamie's face fell and he sat down, not daring to say another word. At dinner, I brought out a meticulously prepared meal of 8 dishes and 1 soup, but the scene before me left me speechless with shock. The Indian man, with a look of disgust, pushed away the chopsticks Mom offered him. Eldest granddaughter, look closely. This is the correct way for us Brahmins to eat. He used his unwashed, blackened hand to poke through all the dishes, mixing them into a chaotic mess. Then he scooped a handful with his right hand, shoved it into his mouth, chewing noisily with a thunderous smacking sound. I watched, my vision blurred, wanting nothing more than to vomit. If I could be blind for 3 days, I would cherish it. The Indian man eagerly invited me to eat with him. I forced a smile. Oh, please, you go ahead, I'm not very hungry. I politely declined. Mom, displeased, huffed. A stray dog isn't worthy of sitting at the banquet table. You ungrateful good-for-nothing. Then she threw her chopsticks aside, imitating the Indian man by mixing her rice with her hands, even elegantly cocking her toes. Her short, stubby fingers shoved mouthfuls of rice into her mouth. Mom even fed a handful to Jamie. He was deep in thought and couldn't avoid it in time, spitting it out while screaming, Mom, what are you doing? That's disgusting. Get away. Mom's face was furious. What do you know? Brahmins like us must eat like this. Jamie tugged at his hair, wailing, Mom, you just used your left hand. Hearing this, the Indian man pressed his left hand, even blacker than his right, to Jamie's nose. This is the sacred cycle of reincarnation. Smell it, it's not foul. Poor Jamie couldn't utter a word, only bent over, dry heaving repeatedly. If you want to wear the crown, you must bear its weight, I mused, shaking my head. Being a Brahmin is truly arduous. Even Mom is no exception. Wanting to share her boundless joy, she started a live stream. 60 years old and starting a new life, returning to being a noble Brahmin. I knew she had been eating those civet droppings again. In the live stream, she praised India to no end, claiming the food there was all organic and unpolluted, proudly patting her chest, having finally escaped technology and harmful chemicals. I immediately entered the live stream room and started dropping cannonballs, sending provocative comments. Soon, the number of viewers skyrocketed, and comments flooded in chaotically. Mom, someone's even volunteering to become an Indian? This old lady must really have mental problems. Her illness isn't light. I smirked. Well then, quickly return to your beloved India, Mom. No one's stopping you. Drink plenty of Ganga water. You might accumulate enough chemical elements to summon a divine dragon. How could it not be organic? There are piles of organic fertilizer everywhere, more than you can eat. Mom put on her reading glasses and stared at the screen for a long time, so angry her nose was crooked. You fools have never seen the light. You can't eat grapes, so you say they're sour. You're only fit to be beasts of burden your whole lives. Your ancestor said it himself. I am the noblest princess of the Brahmin clan. When you meet me later, you must all kneel down. If not for social media, you low-class commoners would never know the glory of the elite. Mom's eccentric statements quickly spread, becoming viral meme videos and popular stickers among netizens. Our house was mobbed by curious netizens, blocking all exits. Jamie, accustomed to nightlife, was cooped up indoors, unable to wreak havoc, and went mad with anger. Mom, are you senile? Nothing is 100% certain, yet you're blabbing everywhere. If something goes wrong, where will I hide my face? Mom patted her chest assuredly. Your great-grandfather even brought the ancient family tree written on goatskin right to our door. It can't be wrong. I'll make sure you live a life above everyone else. Marry as many wives as you want, but remember one thing. Those low-class women are only for playing around with outside. Absolutely do not bring them home. Jamie's brain was already muddled, and his meager reason was completely shattered by Mom, drooling as he dreamed of becoming a king in India. They didn't know that my greatest wish after being reborn was for them to go to India and never return. I even pretended, "Mom, can I come along? I want to go to India too." What I received was a resounding slap. Mom jumped up, screaming, "Don't even dream about it. Even if you become a Brahmin, the family assets belong to Jamie. Don't you dare dream." She even advised me to know my place. "If you're obedient, I might even introduce you to a wealthy tycoon to be his concubine someday." Hearing this, I covered my face, crying loudly as I ran into the bathroom, turning on the water full blast before bursting into maniacal laughter. Ha ha, truly two fools beyond cure. Whether this trip makes them Brahmins or not remains to be seen, but their end will certainly be worse than that lizard's, and all the assets in this house will be mine. Thinking about that, I laughed even harder. Before leaving, Jamie, for the sake of his pride, dragged the crazy Indian man on a shopping spree, wanting to buy gifts for his newly found relatives. Of course, I was expected to pay, but I immediately refused. "Are you kidding? You're about to die, what's the point of saving face?" He fumed, "You good for nothing, what do you know? It's all about give and take." I retorted, "Oh, please, old man, give and take is a traditional Chinese virtue. You Brahmins don't need that, you don't have to bring anything. At most, just pluck a few goose feathers from the morning market. 1,000 miles to deliver a goose feather, though light, signifies deep affection." I stifled my laughter and hung up, not bothering to listen to his nagging anymore. I heard that afterward Jamie, bowing his head in apology to the Indian man, shamefully returned all the items in the shopping cart. The entire supermarket got a free monkey show, as such tormenting people are indeed rare. Perhaps because of the immense humiliation on the way back, they decided to regain their pride, driving into the middle of the main road. Mom, with a haughty expression, declared, "Damn it, why is there no lane for Brahmins here? I'm sick of riding with these commoners." Behind them, car horns blared incessantly, but Mom didn't care. She even urged Jamie to stop the car, stick his head out, and curse all the drivers. "What are you looking at? Do you have any culture? Were you taught any manners? You commoners deserve to be beaten to death." The Indian man next to them gave a thumbs up, even more excited. He jumped out of the car barefoot and performed a chaotic Indian dance in the middle of the road. Poor drivers, their faces pale, not understanding where these two lunatics had come from. The scene was incredibly lively. Some people even started live streaming. Finally, Jamie had to pull Mom back. "Mom, stop causing trouble, it might affect tomorrow's trip." Only then did Mom stop, but before leaving, she performed one last act of Indian culture, urinating in the middle of the road. Holding the Indian man's hand, they strutted away defiantly. All the witnesses were open-mouthed, even forgetting to call the police. Early the next morning, they cheerfully left the house, carrying all sorts of luggage, big and small. I stood on the balcony, waving goodbye to them. "Farewell, and may we never meet again." My social media feed was flooded with Mom's posts. She gleefully bragged about soon returning to her ancestral roots, becoming a noble Brahmin princess. She even live-streamed, declaring to all who dared to disrespect her that after inheriting her ancestors' legacy, the first thing she would do would be to acquire all the companies of those who dared to disrespect her, leaving them all unemployed. I chuckled at her stupidity, counting on my fingers to calculate how much inheritance I would receive. The great-grandfather Assam, Mom spoke of, was actually just a scammer who specialized in kidnapping foreigners for ransom. He sought out Mom because of the seeking relatives posts I had intentionally disseminated. Mom saw him as an ancestor, while he saw Mom as a plump prey to be drained of every last drop of blood. After arriving in India, Mom was lured by him to leave the tour group and opt for independent travel. The Indian man intended to take the Brahmin princess to explore local customs. The first destination was the place Mom had always longed for, the Ganga River. The ancient river flowed sluggishly, reeking of foul odor and human waste. Mom, gagging, loudly declared, "My whole body is cleansed, my soul is ascending." In her blindly zenithal eyes, even sewage water was a supreme delicacy. At first, Mom lived very comfortably. The Indian man fed her local, biochemical delicacies, such as left-hand flying bread. He even took Mom to stay in a luxurious villa with low-caste servants kneeling in true earthly paradise fashion. Mom constantly posted pictures and live-streamed to show off her Brahmin life. She radiantly thanked Lord Shiva for hearing her New Year's prayers and helping her transcend her social class. But she didn't know that sheep are always fattened before they are slaughtered. Everything she was enjoying was her own money. Meanwhile, Jamie, his reason clouded by desire, lived in a kingly delusion. The Indian beauties serving him were actually future accomplices. A few days later, Mom's money dwindled. Brahmin life was no longer as comfortable as before. The villa transformed into a straw hut. The high caste servants began to openly show their displeasure. Mom remained unaware that her downfall was imminent. After being groped by the Indian man, Jamie finally sobered up somewhat. He suffered sleepless nights, plagued by nightmares of the Indian man doing all sorts of things to him. When he woke up, Jamie's limbs were weak. He decided to flee, but his passport had long been taken by the Indian man. Worse, while wandering, trying to find a way to escape, Jamie witnessed with his own eyes several Indian men executing a foreigner who was covered in injuries. The unprecedented bloody scene terrified him, and he quickly fled back. "Mom, it's not good. These Indians are all cold-blooded murderers." Seeing Jamie's panic, Mom thought he had gone crazy and slapped him. "You damned child, what nonsense are you talking about? They are our relatives." "No, Mom, I saw it with my own eyes." "They're killing people." "Shut up, I think you're just living too comfortably and hallucinating. Be careful, I might disown you." Blinded by her ambition to be superior, Mom not only disbelieved Jamie but also recounted his story to the Indian man as a joke. She wore an oversized, garish sari, strutting around, live-streaming her Brahmin life. Men on the street stared at her intently with lustful eyes. Mom gloated, "See, you commoners, this is the status of a Brahmin. All I have to do is beckon, and they'll kneel and lick my feet." But she didn't know that was the last moment of freedom in her life. This place was the illegal den of Indian scammers. The foreigner Jamie saw being killed the day before was a victim who had secretly filmed evidence of their crimes. Mom, nearly losing her life, continued to make unforgivable mistakes. Assam, his face as gloomy as the black impermanence of death, rushed out of the house. Mom cheerfully invited his grandfather to join her livestream, but Assam immediately forced her to end the live broadcast, saying he had to take her to an important party. As soon as the live stream was off, Assam slapped Mom, sending her tumbling to the ground. "What are you doing, sir? Didn't you say you were taking me to society? Aren't I your noble Brahmin princess?" Assam smirked, waving to a group of muscular men reeking of feces. Mom held her head high, confidently expecting to be worshipped by these commoners, but what awaited her was the naked truth of India. Those dirty hands reached out, and amidst Mom's horrified screams, the men swarmed her. The screams grew increasingly desperate. No one dared to intervene, instead attracting even more people. The inner circle roared like wild beasts, while the outer circle frantically pressed closer. In the center of that chaos, Mom screamed, "Help me. Let me go, you wretched commoners. Are your lives worth nothing? I am a noble Brahmin princess." I watched through my phone screen, smiling coldly. If I remembered correctly, in my previous life, I was tortured to death by a superbug in similar despair. Reborn into this life, all the suffering I endured would be fully repaid. Assam stood by, as if enjoying the show, disregarding the desperate pleas of his eldest granddaughter. He even adopted the air of an old father lecturing, "You are a noble Brahmin princess. Why do you debase yourself so? Why do you entangle yourself with these commoners? What you endure today is well-deserved." True to Assam, who would even exploit a crack in a brick, they always had their own twisted logic. Women in India were even less than animals. Living less than human, they unleashed their anger on innocent women, using violent acts to assert male dominance. For such a dirty, rotten, perverted country, only my foolish mother would think it was paradise. Who knows how long passed before Assam finally sent his henchmen away and rescued Mom. Since he hadn't yet received the ransom money, he had to keep her alive. Mom and Jamie were locked in a dark, hellish cowshed. After several days of starvation, both of them, with hollow eyes, still showed no remorse, instead cursing me, the destroyer of wealth, for costing them their blissful days. Little did they know, I was quietly watching them lose their minds from outside. The cattle shed door opened, and light flooded in, illuminating their two filthy figures. Assam, who had been missing for several days, extended his hand. Mom, thinking she was being helped up, was overjoyed to the point of tears, but what awaited her was a resounding slap. "You fool, can't you read? 500,000 for one life?" Mom didn't understand anything. Assam kicked Jamie hard twice in the stomach, enunciating each word. 500,000, for 1,000, one lives, for 1,000,000, both live, understand? Mom's face turned ashen, like newly excavated bronze. Jamie, young and naive, forgot his pain and started yelling wildly. Damn you, you're the ones who came looking for relatives. You haven't even taken your cut yet, and you're asking for 500,000? Assam looked at him as if he were an idiot. Is there something wrong with your head? Have you ever seen a Brahmin as dark as me? Didn't you read the instructions before going abroad, you fool? Mom crawled over, clutching his trouser leg and weeping. Sir, why are you treating your most beloved little princess like this? We share the same roots, why are we harming each other? For the first time, Jamie showed a flicker of intelligence, his eyes red with anger. Mom, has a dog eaten your brain? Don't you understand yet, he's a scammer. You finally learned, didn't you? That slap wasn't in vain, you finally realized the truth? But what good was realizing it now? When someone holds the knife and you're the fish on the chopping block, how can you resist? Yet Mom was still immersed in her dream of getting rich, refusing to wake up. Be good, bear with it. This must be the final test he has set for us. Before I could act, Mom had already committed an unforgivable mistake. Assam, his face purple, rushed out like the black impermanence coming to snatch a soul. Mom happily invited his grandfather to livestream with her. Unexpectedly, Assam immediately told her to turn off the live broadcast, saying there was an important ball they had to attend. As soon as the live broadcast was off, Mom was slapped by him and fell to the ground. Sir, why are you doing this? Didn't you say you were taking your granddaughter to the ball? Am I not your most beloved Brahmin princess? Assam smirked, waving to a group of strong men reeking of feces. Mom confidently lifted her head, thinking she would be revered by these commoners. But what awaited her was the brutal truth of India. After experiencing the nightmare, Mom was locked up by him. At this point, under Assam's strict supervision, Mom called me via video. You good for nothing, pay all the money back immediately. I have an urgent matter. Seeing Mom's panicked face, I pretended to be confused. What's wrong, Mom? Do these Brahmins still care about my paltry few coins? Seeing that I wasn't moved, Mom flew into a rage. What do you know? We need to verify assets too. This is the family's final test. Be careful if you're slow. I burst out laughing. No matter how loudly dogs bark in India, they can't bite me. What is there to be afraid of? Then I reconsidered. Mom and my brother were in trouble. As a daughter, turning a blind eye would be heartless. I had to do something. I called the embassy, explaining Mom and Jamie's situation. The officer reassured me. Citizens of Huaxia, China, are protected by their homeland anywhere in the world. A few days later, a haggard and broken Jamie appeared at my doorstep. Seeing me, he finally believed he had truly returned. Wah, it was horrible. They were beasts. They locked me in a water dungeon where leeches bit me. Looking at his eyes full of resentment, I guessed the leeches bit him in places he couldn't easily describe. Where's Mom? I asked out of politeness. Jamie sniffled as he recounted. Mom is so foolish, sis. She abandoned her peaceful life at home to go to India for the new year and even changed her nationality. Now the embassy can't do anything. She can't come back anymore. They beat me, tortured me, and the people in the room changed every day. Assam even said he'd release Mom if we paid 500,000. I half smiled, half didn't. You know our family's financial situation. Selling the house might get us 500,000, it's true, but then you won't have a home for your future wife. You won't be able to get married. Less than 2 seconds later, a crafty glint appeared in Jamie's eyes. For the future of our family lineage, Mom will surely understand my sacrifice. I chuckled to myself. Typical Mom. She bore a son, and before he even married, she'd forgotten her own mother. Perhaps noticing my contemptuous gaze, Jamie flared up. What are you laughing at? Do you think I don't want to save Mom? It's just that we don't have money, and it's all your fault, you wasteful one, for bringing us to this. He lunged at me, but I kicked him, sending him sprawling. Are you kidding? A Chinese girl like me is afraid of a guy who was ridden by Assam? Get lost, clean yourself up, then talk to me. Jamie, thick-skinned, silently slunk into the bathroom. I knew this good-for-nothing wouldn't give up. He'd surely scheme something. Sure enough, in less than 2 days, he revealed his true colors, daring to secretly contact Assam, saying, release my mother and in exchange take my sister. And an additional 500,000. My sister is young, beautiful, and much more enjoyable to play with. You can even record videos and sell them for profit. Do whatever you want with her. Life or death doesn't matter, and you don't need to report to the authorities. Just enjoy yourselves. Indeed, drinking Ganga water really does alter one's mind, turning half a brain into no brain at all. I wondered where he got the courage to openly plot to sell me out in my own home, but I had installed cameras beforehand and all his actions were recorded. I gritted my teeth. Indeed, no investigation, no punishment sounds delightful. That night, Jamie carefully brought me a warm glass of milk. He urged me to drink it all so as not to disappoint him. I drank it all down. Immediately after, I collapsed onto the floor, unconscious. Jamie kicked me hard. "You good for nothing. It's all your fault for being stupid and not seeing Sam's true face, making me suffer so much. I'll personally take you there so you can feel what a living hell is like. Don't disappoint me. Sam promised me that if you cooperate obediently, I'll get 5% of the profits." After saying that, he tried to tie me up, but I sprang up like a carp transforming into a dragon. His eyes widened in fear. "What? How?" I said coldly. "You fool, the medicine you bought was swapped by me long ago." Jamie, who had been tormented by Sam for days, could only writhe helplessly on the floor. I tied him up effortlessly. "Don't understand why, do you? It's all right. You'll have plenty of time to think about it. Carry that doubt with you and live a long, long life in India." In my past life, Jamie was an ordinary guy but arrogant, thinking himself superior just because he was a few pounds heavier. From childhood, he always bullied me, dumping all his life's frustrations on my head. He gambled, and when he lost, it was my bad luck. When I was tormented by the superbug, he snatched my phone, cutting off my last hope of calling for help, then locked me in a dark basement to die alone. In this life, I would repay him in full, principal, and interest. Death is not scary. Living a ceaseless life of torment is the true hell. Knowing he had no good intentions, I had prepared in advance. I even kindly helped him register for a cheap India tour. I eagerly awaited to see how crazy he would become when he returned to that place full of unspeakable memories. Sure enough, before he even got off the plane, he video called me. On the phone, he cursed everyone. "The flight attendants are idiots, they never answer when I call." I chuckled coldly. "You don't have the destiny to be a Brahmin, but you have the Brahmin sickness. It won't stop now, the game has begun." He cried and begged me to send money for a return ticket. "I was wrong, sis, I'll listen to whatever you say. Please have pity on me." I burst out laughing, telling him, "You can't come back, never, ever. Didn't you want to go to India to claim your ancestral heritage? I have to support you, right?" Oh, I forgot to mention, I intentionally spread those seeking relatives posts to lead Sam to Mom. And Mom changing her nationality? That was my suggestion too. Everything you're suffering today is the result of your own actions. You escaped death yet show no remorse, still wanting to drain my blood dry. Who gave you such confidence? Being a few pounds heavier makes you nobler than me? Calling yourself a Brahmin, squatting at home, bullying people. If that's the case, then be a Brahmin all the way. From now on, Sam will teach you how to be a real human being. Hearing this, Jamie's face shriveled up like a pile of rags, and he hugged his backside, trembling. "Sis, oh sis, please buy me a ticket home. I don't want to be here anymore. They're disgusting. I know I made a mistake. I'll listen to whatever you say. I won't argue at all." He knelt on the ground, shaking like a leaf in the autumn wind, looking truly pathetic. But what did that have to do with me? Just then, a familiar figure appeared running in the video. I burst out laughing, reminding him, "Your great-grandfather is coming. If you want to live, run fast." Sadly, it was too late. Jamie let out a tragic scream and was dragged away. From now on, his entire life would be an obsessive, nightmarish delusion, like a turtle in water, a bird in a cage, destined to live forever in suffering. Karma never fails, retribution never misses. After sending the two Brahmins back to their roots, I felt relieved. I strode forward, my heart light as a cloud, no longer plagued by nightmares of being tormented by superbugs. Those who harmed me were now slowly rotting in that filthy land, merging with the mud and turning into fertilizer. A gentle breeze blew, and the first warm rays of 2025 shone on my face, warmer than ever before. Everything was over. I began a new life.